Once upon a time, in a small village by the river, there lived an old man named Ziggler. The people of the village thought he was a bit strange because he didn't talk much. On the contrary, he almost never worried. Ziggler lived in a small wooden house by the river. The house was old and had been standing for many years. The paint had long since faded, and water dripped from the roof in heavy rains. Yet every evening, Ziggler would sit in front of his house and look at the river, as if he were listening to some secret hidden in the sound of the water. His life was not easy. Many years ago, his crops were destroyed by a flood. Then he lost his wife to illness, and one day, his only daughter went to a distant city in search of work. From then on, silence became his closest companion. Yet surprisingly, no one ever heard Ziggler complain. Every morning, he would mend his nets, feed the birds, and greet people with a calm smile. The villagers wondered, how can a person remain so calm after losing so much? One cloudy afternoon, a young girl named Mandanna came running to her house. Her breathing was rapid, her eyes were filled with fear and worry. "Grandpa Ziggler," she said, "I can't sleep at night anymore." Ziggler stopped working and asked her to sit down. He asked in a soft voice, "What is bothering you?" Mandanna lowered her head and said, "Our harvest was not good this year. My parents fight every day. I only think about tomorrow, and that scares me." Ziggler slowly shook his head and said, "The future becomes very heavy when we have to carry everything together." Mandanna looked surprised. "You mean?" Ziggler pointed to the river. Many years ago, a fisherman was crossing this river in a storm. The sky was dark, the waves were terrible. He was afraid that the boat would sink. He began to think, if the wind picked up, if the boat capsized, if he couldn't survive. His hands began to shake with fear. He wanted to control the entire river at once, and then the boat almost capsized. Suddenly, he remembered one of his father's words, "Don't fight the entire river, just control the other side of the boat." Then he stopped thinking about his destination. He just focused on pulling the next pull, one stroke at a time, one breath at a time. The storm didn't stop, but his fear gradually subsided, and before he knew it, morning had come. He had reached the other side of the river. Ziggler looked at Mandanna. "Tomorrow is like that river," he said. "When you want to control everything at once, fear grows." Mandanna asked slowly, "So what should I do?" Ziggler said calmly, "Live honestly today. Help today. Work today. Take care of yourself today. Find your own way tomorrow." The girl sat quietly. For the first time in a long time, her thoughts slowed. From the next day, Mandanna started helping her mother with small tasks. She would fetch water, pack vegetables for the market, and stop thinking about next year and focus only on that day. Slowly, everything started to change. The quarrels in the house decreased. The neighbors started helping. Where there was fear before, opportunities appeared. After a few months, the harvest also improved. One evening, Mandanna came to Ziggler again, a smile on her face. She said, "I still don't know what the future holds, but I'm not afraid of it anymore." Ziggler smiled softly and said, "Because you stopped taking on the burden of tomorrow." The river flowed peacefully by, and slowly the whole village came to understand a truth. When we want to live a long life together, fear arises, and peace comes when we live just one day to the fullest. Because the future is not made of worries. The future is made by small, courageous steps every day. And sometimes the greatest courage is just taking the next step.